Well, outside for the video store is a show called Off Our Stones. We got Andrew and me and a friend Cody. We're gonna rank some funky songs. Rank them songs. The song's gonna and rank songs. The longest list in the whole damn town. Longer than old King Kong. Meaner than the Junkyard Dog. See, we only ruined it for like one episode. Now we just have that for the rest.
Yeah, and I'm actually learning how to play this thing, so that may help. Speaking of which, guys, hey, welcome back to Off Our Stones, episode 2. Let's just bring in our co-host.
Yeah, it's not
Cody
really a surprise
Newberry.
anymore. Cody's just here.
Yeah, Cody's here now. So if you guys skipped episode 1 for some goddamn reason, watch episode 1.
Moron.
What Cody said. But basically what we're doing is we're going over Brooklyn and I's top 500 list of all time. First half of the series is going to be basically songs that are on our individual lists but didn't get on both of our lists. And then Cody's going to be the one who basically tells us which one's better or if we should fuck off. Cody, what are some of your first thoughts about the playlist for this episode that we sent you?
Oh, this playlist rocks. Compared to the first one, there were some songs I was like hit or miss, but this one, I mean, there's a few that are just not my cup of tea, but it's not like throw it at the fast food worker because it's that terrible, you know? It's not Charlie XCX, you know? But this one's got some of my all-time favorites on it, so it's it hits. And then so I the thing is I love that I don't know what's coming. The best thing about this, it's kind of like a YLS episode for me, is when I get a list of movies I've never seen before and then I get to watch them, I'm like, ooh, and I find something I like. This happens to this list. I'm like, oh wow, this song, and then I get another playlist. I'm like, what are we doing? What is happening? I'm so confused. But there's so much mystery with this episode, and as a person that's not, I would say, as a general, not a music super fan, I am very the general public to be exposed to some of these songs. And again, I listen to this playlist all week long. It's the only thing I listen to, so I'm fully ingrained with all the music. So I'm really excited. I'm glad I gave you this idea, but I'm glad that I got roped into being on the episodes because this makes it even better for me.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you found some things that you like because for those of you who don't remember, whoever Cody picks their songs the most, loser has to not only watch a movie of the other person's choosing, but has to listen for a week only a selection of 20 songs that the victor has chosen.
I saw another I saw a playlist today that was kind of a meme, and I was like, oh, this would be another good one to add to the mix.
Oh, we're tied so far, so God be with me. All right, let's get started though. So our first matchup for what would be the number 480 and 479 songs are Baby I Need Your Lovin' by the Four Tops versus Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell. Brooklyn, since you're on the left side of the screen today, how about you go first?
Sure. So Southern Nights is kind of this amalgamation of country, but almost vaudeville style, and kind of that bounce, that kind of back and forth. The intro in this is great. It's super easy to pick up, and it's just I think it just carries over so well. That initial kind of Southern Nights and kind of how the backing vocals fill it out. I think my favorite line in this song is "Mysteries like this and many other trees blow in the night in the southern skies," and there's just kind of there's an odd kind of mysticism to it as well. It's one of the best qualities of this song, and I think what keeps it on the 500 list is just how it fills everything out with the sound and the guitar and the bass line and just the vocals and everything.
All right, let's unmute myself before I make that mistake. So with Baby I Need Your Lovin', the Four Tops, just first of all, the way that all of their vocals just blend together, it's just this symphonic, harmonic, fantastic sound. Speaking of which, the wall of sound production in this, where just like you're getting hit with like everything with this cacophony of incredible music. It hits you like a brick wall, especially that chorus where Levi Stubbs is just singing his heart out with so much passion. When you combine it with the horns and the backing vocals, it's just this amazing, wonderful experience of a song that's just so passionate. Whereas Brooklyn's, I'm going to be completely honest with you, kind of wears out its welcome after the first 2 minutes. Like, you kind of get it, and then you're just like, all right, cool, there's a banjo and like instrumentation, and like that's cool, but I don't know, after a while it just kind of wears out its welcome.
I would say for your song is that the four tops in general are like the least valued thing in the song. Everything else about it is like it's just overly produced, like the strings and the backing vocals, like especially in that chorus. You get that wail, but it's like let's turn him down so that we can get these strings in here. It's kind of like Eleanor Rigby, but not as good.
Turn him down? Are you kidding me? Levi Stubbs' voice is like the most powerful thing on this song.
When you listen to this song, everything that isn't the four tops is kind of brought up front.
Oh my God, Cody, save me. Pick one already.
So what I will say is these became two of my favorite songs on the playlist that you gave me this week that I didn't have like a real like knowledge beforehand. One bar, really stupid of you to say, like Southern Nights after the 2 minutes, it's a minute 58. So that 58 seconds does not drag too long for me. I just like, and he's like, you know, la la la, and do that. It's not like long. It was kind of weird. I was sitting here the other night, and my wife was listening on TikTok or whatever, and Southern Nights was playing, and I was just like, "Oh!" And I grabbed my phone to hit stop because I thought it was playing on my phone because of the playlist. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "It's a TikTok." I'm like, "That song's in a TikTok. What are we doing here?" But Baby I Need Your Love, and like the pain in his voice almost is like at the beginning, like he feels like somebody that is like crying out. And then when they all join in together, when it's the Baby I Need Your Love, and I'm just like, let's go. Like if I could go back in time and live in this era for music, so good. I'm
so good.
This one is so close because this matchup, if Southern Nights was going up against other things or Baby I Need Your Love, it would have been back and forth. I'm going to slightly lean Baby I Need Your Lovin' higher than Southern Nights, but that's 51-49 because that's really hard because that's a really good Southern Nights. I never heard it before because living in like the country and stuff, like a bonfire, like fall day, like Southern Nights is like that's a campfire like bop song right there.
It is.
Cody, guess who in this community showed me that song?
Like old brand of trivia
brand.
or new brand? Sean Sandberg?
No, Caleb Coho.
Yeah, Coho loves this.
He had this on his top 10 summer songs.
Wow, I would need more techno drum or something for him to like it. Okay. Or like some like overused rap line, but you know that's fair.
All right. Well, let's move in with that. Let's move into what would be 478 and 477. Ain't Nobody by Rufus and Shaka Khan versus Fuji-La by the Fugees. And with that, I'm going to go first. First of all, Shaka Khan. That's all you need to know. Shaka Khan on this song is just amazing. Her vocals are just like, oh my God, she is such an incredible singer. And she's like one of those singers I think is kind of like semi underrated in the general public, at least. And that one line, just that do 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 do, ain't nobody let me bet. I can't help but sing along to it, and like that groove is just so amazing. It's one of the tightest songs you will ever hear. It's so good.
Yeah, so Fuji-La by the Fugees, I think, is one of the best examples of showcasing everybody's individual talents. in the band and kind of how they play amongst each other in the songs. White Hot John is a very like dynamic sort of presence, kind of opening the song. We used to be number 10, now we're this permanent one. This is, I would say, Lauryn Hill's best verse in terms of like kind of that Andre 3000 style, like off the beat. And then what's his name? Sorry. Pross is just kind of that straight man where he's just kind of on the beat. The beat in this is very light. I think a way to kind of shorten this is that this song is everything that the Black Eyed Peas wanted to be, but more successful. Whereas with Ain't Nobody, I'm going to get really nitpicky because if we're talking about 500 greatest songs of all time, that's not the right guitar tone, considering everything else is kind of like soft and it's kind of it's like, it has a nice disco vibe, but then it's just like really sharp and it's just like, it's good, but it could be better.
Well, the sharpness of the guitar actually helps balance out like the synthetic kind of the line that's carrying most of the song. It helps balance it out. It gives it that little bit of edge that you need. And with Fu-Gee-La, I'm sorry, the production in this, the mixing is not great. All of the Fugees, except for on the hook, all of the Fugees are slightly like their vocals are slightly buried beneath the beat. So there's not even that really good balance in the production to push this song over the edge. All right, I guess that's it.
Well, Cody.
I guess that's it for us this time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep this like spoiler free for like one of these songs because I don't want to give too much away. Ain't Nobody is a bop. Ain't Nobody is like a.
That's fair.
I just love it. Like I'm going with it. And I like a song Better by 288. So
Okay.
I like a song Better. I will just say that. So we'll wait till then, but I like a song Better, and we'll leave it there. But Ain't Nobody just.
I
if
will
you
say
just ain't got shoulders in that, I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, let's go.
Nobody.
Ain't Nobody is the best song to drive home to at night, I would say.
You know what? You're 100% right. As somebody that did it to work a lot this week, I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
And when I was driving to work, it was playing one time, and I almost did a U-turn to go back home. I was like, I don't need to be driving to work and listen to this. So.
Yeah. I need that every time I drive to work, to be honest with you. All right, let's move on, though.
You need something. I wouldn't get out of bed.
I need like a tea or a coffee or something like that. All right, so sure. All right, your 476 and 475 are Cody's just. Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar versus 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad by Meatloaf. Brooklyn.
I'm really interested to see who has what.
Baby, we can talk all night, but that ain't getting us nowhere. This is a highlight on an already incredible album, Bad Outta Hell. This is one of the great pairings of Meatloaf and Jim Steinman in terms of songwriting. The line that I go back to all the time. I know you're looking for a ruby in a mountain of rocks, but there ain't no Coupe de Ville hiding at the bottom of a Cracker Jack box. The bass line in this is incredibly tight, especially when you get into that chorus, like now don't be sad. And it's doing like this kind of funky arpeggio work it's just very, very satisfying to kind of have that relief going into the chorus. And just the heartbreak that he has in this song. I want you, I need you, but there ain't no other way I'm ever gonna love you. Now don't be sad, because 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, Love being the third one, it's a Battlefield. Pat Benatar on this song absolutely fucking kills it. Like the power behind her voice when she's screaming like, "We are strong, no one can tell us we're wrong." Incredible. You want to talk about bass lines? The bass line in Love is a Battlefield is one of the greatest rock bass lines of all time. Like, if you just played the bass line for me, I would recognize what song that is right away. But this one's also just, it's tight, it's compact, it knows when to leave and when to use its power. It's just a really smartly written song. Whereas 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I mean, it ain't bad, but also it kind of does overstay its welcome a little bit. It's like, I want to say it's like 7 minutes. If it was like 5, that probably would have worked a lot better for me.
I don't understand why a song being long is makes it
Too
makes
long,
it
overstays its welcome.
inferior. But what part would you take that out then, I guess? Anyways, with Love is a Battlefield, I think the problem is, especially with somebody of your standards that's very songwrite heavy, the story in this is kind of buried within the pre-chorus and the chorus, which really kind of just takes over the song. I also believe the song is a bit ahead of its time. I think if this came out, but I don't mean that in like
how is that a bad thing though? How is that a bad thing?
Because there's more that should be added to this that wasn't really discovered until like the 2000s, like 2010s. Like if this is released,
because this song inspired those songs. No?
I don't know. I don't necessarily. I don't. I don't agree with that though, because I don't think the bass is like the bass is pretty solid in this. But when you think about dubstep, it's very, very kind of like wah and like just kind of like a little all over the place. There are remixes of this song that kind of prove that this would belong in that kind of dubstep club era. I just think that there's like it's a good foundation, but there needs to be more
dubstep. Is that what you're arguing?
I think Love is a Battlefield, if it was released 20 years later, it'd be talked about much higher than it is now.
It would be talked about much less. Barely anyone uses or talks about dubstep anymore, unless we're talking about like nostalgia things. Cody, please help me.
Listen, I can't lie. Oh,
God.
Listen. This song is in my top, 30 songs of all time. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I love this song more than any man should. If you fucking tell me one more time a long song is a problem, it's 5 minutes and 30. Shut up! It tells a complete story. This song is brilliant storytelling of a relationship of why that person can't love, and then tells them a story about why the same thing happened to them. And it's such a powerful thing. That part is I want you, I need you, but I can't be with you. There's only one girl that I have ever loved, and that was many years ago. It is such a beautiful song. Even Dr. Pepper tried to ruin it by putting it in a commercial for a long time, but I still every time just if you ever pulled next to me in a car and this song came on, you would think that I am standing in front of 60,000 people screaming. I'm putting on the concert of my life. Meatloaf is absolutely incredible. And I like other Pat Benatar songs way better than Love is a Battlefield, personally. So when I saw this come up, it was a checkmate. It was done. It could have been against most songs, and it would have been. Now I have no fear about my other song going against something else in the night, so bless you. And I knew Brooklyn picked this. I was if he picked Love is a Battlefield, I'm really confused because I know he loves Meatloaf like I love Meatloaf. So the food and
I was about to make that joke.
It's quality.
So let me just say real fast, Cody.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't have much to argue because
you're so cold, you're crying icicles instead of tears.
God.
You're never gonna drill for oil in a city street. You're looking for a ruby in a mountain of rocks, but there ain't no Couteville.
Let me just say, most of the songs that we'll talk about on this series are great songs.
I can't tell you that I'm something I'm not. No matter. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful lyricism. Beautiful lyricism. No.
It's a great song.
And that's a man. This came from a man named Meatloaf. Meatloaf.
His name was Robert Paulson. Okay, his name was Robert Paulson. Andrew, his name was Robert Paulson.
I'm not saying it, and we're moving on to what would be number 474 and 473 on our list.
If it ends here, I'm going with this too.
You Know I'm No Good by Amy Winehouse versus Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine by James Brown.
Get up! Go ahead.
You Know I'm No Good is one of the most densely crafted lyrics I've ever heard in a song, especially in the modern era. Like the whole line about you tear me down like Roger Moore, who's like a famed harsh movie critic. What a great line that is. And just like the whole thing about being in the bathtub while he's on the sink, and just like the chips and vinegar line, like, oh my gosh, it's just like such a amazingly crafted set of lyrics for a hook that is so fantastic, and that, oh my god, just the instrumentation, just the whole boo doo 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 doo, like the crisp drums. It is a marvel of a song that I probably should have had higher on my list, to be completely honest with you. But Brooklyn, tell me more about James Brown's most overrated song.
Okay, we're gonna get in jabs before we even do an intro. The intro of this song tells you everything that you kind of need to know about James Brown. Fast pace. I want to get into it, man. I'm ready to get up and do my thing. I want to get into it, man. You know, like a sex machine, moving it, doing it, and just his interaction that he has with the band in this is really good. It's fair. It's safe to say that this is an argument over what's the better funk song, and this is the better funk song. It's just that head bobbing that you get, and you feel the rhythm that you're in there with James Brown. The piano solos in this are great. This whenever he's like counting in the band, you just you get jived up for it, like that hard 7 count. And it's one of the best uses of like doing like a dance move, but it's not that like kind of twist and shout song style of it, where it's like it's kind of has its own little beast. Whereas with You Know I'm No Good, my argument with that, and I'll keep it short, is that this isn't necessarily the best Amy Winehouse song. Mark Ronson has really good production on it, but I think you could replace Amy Winehouse with anybody. She's missing the range that is normally in her other songs.
You think that out of everything, Amy Winehouse can be replaced on this song? This is Amy Winehouse in a song. Like the way she wrote these
Amy Winehouse is the only person to go through a breakup.
The way she wrote these lyrics are so deeply personal that no other person could sing this song. Unlike James Brown's I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine. That's a song that anybody could have done the lyrics to, and have multiple times, to be completely honest with you. Also, you get everything you need to know about this song within the first minute and a half, and then it just kind of does the same thing over and over again in a repetitive state, and it doesn't grow or build or explode in a way that it should for a song like this. You want to talk about how it basically makes it you get up and dance? So do most James Brown songs. In fact, a lot of other James Brown songs that are better than this tell you exactly what dance moves to do to this. So this is James Brown. It's a really good James Brown song, but James Brown has made so many better songs like this one. So I don't see what this song offers that other James Brown songs don't.
Last thing I want to say, when you get to the line, "You tear me down like Roger Moore," my initial thought was, why are we throwing shade at one of the Bond guys? I did not realize that this person was a critic as well. So yeah. You need prior intelligence of going before listening to this song.
Cody.
I guess I can't know this information. But is this, maybe if it is this the only James Brown song on the 500 list?
Oh no.
Okay. So that's fine and dandy. Because if it was, I'd be lying. I have some issues with that. I don't love this song for James Brown as much. Like, again, like, if I could be like somebody else for a day, James Brown would be a really fun one. Not like, living, not currently, because that would be awkward. Because just how he like yells and stuff, it just seems like a lot of fun. Like he's having like a blast. Like anytime he's doing, like going through the grocery store. But I never heard the song from Amy Winehouse. I would say that I'm very not like I don't listen to Amy Winehouse very often at all. And I dug this song a lot. I don't know if she could really be replaced. I think her vocals are really, really insane. I think she has a skill. So I'm going to actually give Winehouse the bump to James Brown. Now, if James Brown was this was the only James Brown song, James Brown would go higher than Amy Winehouse, in my opinion.
You know what?
You guys just lied to me. It's not on there. No, just like there's no more. Is there?
You know what? There's a reason I told you that that's not the only James Brown song. So, wait.
You know,
Wait. Because I'm not fair. There we go. Oh, good. See, it's hard to when Mr. Producer Man's on vacation and I have to fill in everything.
Where's he going to vacation though? Downstairs.
Who's the producer man?
You don't. Oh, obviously someone doesn't watch the rest of our series, or else you would know who Mr. Producer Man is.
I do know. Oh, it's Mike, right?
So Cody, imagine personify somebody who lives in a van down by the river,
but somehow owns a major corporation and doesn't know how to unwrap a cigar.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's who Mr. Producer Man is.
Fair.
All right, but let's move on to what would be number 472 and 471. Chain of Fools by Aretha Franklin versus Super Freak by Rick James. Brooklyn starts us off this time.
So this song would obviously go on to be sampled by one of the greatest artists of the 90s. But this original song is just, it's kind of like Prince, but dialed up to 11 in terms of just like the keys and the guitar. It's a song about songs about sexy times, and if anything on this show, these songs are kind of looked at in high regard. I just like the kind of strut that it has in the song. The bridge in this is great. I think one of the good qualities of it is that when you go back on re-listen, some of the things in the song are much more technically proficient, like especially when you get into that like "She's All Right" part, and you see and you hear how articulate the bass is at on the third or fourth listen. I think it has there's enough kind of references in the song, like when he does the Temptation sing, that's enough to kind of keep your ear in tune with it. And then I'll let him talk about a mid Aretha song. There, you're muted, but we're even now.
God damn it, mother. Hey, look, a mid Aretha song is still better than 95% of other musicians' best songs. Let's be honest with ourselves. Chain of Fools. First of all, Miss Aretha Franklin. She sounds amazing on this song, as she does on all of her songs. But this one, that hook is so good. Like, chain. If you're not doing that little shoulder dip in that moment, you're an idiot. Also, that bridge where it goes into this almost a cappella kind of thing, where it's just like, you told me to leave you alone, my father. That pocket she finds, oh my God, I want to just wrap myself up in that pocket and just stay there on a cold winter night, because that pocket is great. Super Freak is a great bass line. It's a great bass line. The bass line is the only part about this song that would probably deserve to be on a list like that, but it's not 500 greatest bass lines of all time. It's 500 greatest songs of all time. Rick James is doing his best, but his best isn't really good enough on this one. Also, aside from "She's a super freak," I don't really remember any other line from this song, and the lines I kind of do remember are kind of disgusting and creepy.
the opening line of the song, "She's a very kinky girl," the kind you don't take home to mother. It kind of tells you what the song is about right away. I disagree with the whole bass line thing, because the bass line is basically a component of the sandwich, where when you don't hear the bass line, you have the keys filling out the gap and kind of creating that range. Also, the fucking sax solo at the end of this, just an all-time great solo. What I will say about Chain of Fools is that, yes, you have that. You have that part that was ripped and used in School of Rock. The doctor, my father's coming home, my doctor said take it easy or whatever. That is the one good part in this. In terms of upbeat Aretha Franklin beats, we already have a good one that is going to be on this list. I don't understand why this needs to be here and the other one, because I don't see much of a difference.
Because structurally they're different. Structurally they're a little bit different, especially when that bridge comes in, because that bridge is the part that really binds this song together, especially lyrically, because the story that this song presents is just like a really fascinatingly done story in this song that the instrumentation and the music really helps develop.
Guess what else is in that other song? An a cappella part. So it's not that much different.
I'm going to have to remember which Aretha Franklin song we have on this list you're talking about for that. Cody, let's move on to you, because I think we're about to start just spinning our tires.
I'm really glad I never have to go off the arguments. Like, this isn't debate. Like, this is off my own personal opinion. I'd be frustrated.
Damn it! Because I'm going to be screwed later on in this episode.
Yeah, I don't know how this episode's going to go. I don't think it's faring very well for one person, and I think it's going to continue. I'm going to put Chain of Fools over Super Freak.
Wow.
I just don't like Super Freak, and I think it's because it was overplayed when I was growing up. Like, Super Freak was just Super Freak. Like, I know it instantly, but I never want to listen to it, like on a regular. So it's placed in like a lot of comedy like movies and stuff, and like, I mean, Dave Chappelle did more for Rick James's career than anybody else. Like, at this point, like,
what did the five fingers say to the face? Slap.
So good. I don't care. It's so good.
All right, let's move on to, oh God, the one that I'm actually screwed on, since Cody tells us to let us in on the secret and how he decides. To Pyramids by Frank Ocean versus Let's Dance by David Bowie. So, Pyramids is this epic of a piece. It's basically a two-parter. The first part is the story of Cleopatra and her downfall. And then the second half of the song is about a guy who's basically just mooching and living off of his stripper girlfriend. And he's got like these big chains and he's like got swagger. And then towards the end of the song, he starts to realize the situation that he's essentially forcing her into, and comparing her downfall to the downfall of Cleopatra, this woman who has so much power but became just an object of men's desire, and them mooching off of it. It's a really well told dynamic of a song that has these incredibly tight instrumental pieces that dun, 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 instantly memorable, instantly a classic. Frank Ocean is just completely selling this song, and the way that he sings it, the way it's produced, it's an amazing epic piece.
So Let's Dance by David Bowie, again, kind of speaks to qualities of great songs. It fills out like the synth horns in it, that like the cowbell, like wood block sort of thing that is just kind of unique in this song itself. I also like how he repeats a verse, but how it's kind of soft. It's soft at the beginning, but then he really gets to kind of let out his vocals in the end, like Put On Your Red Shoes and Dance the Blues. I think kind of like the chorus, or like the kind of the pre-chorus of it, really does a really good job of building up tension. Like if you say run, I'll run with you, and if you say hide, we'll hide. Again, another great sax solo, and I think it's just this is an era of David Bowie that needs to be talked about in this form. In terms of Pyramids by Frank Ocean, Andrew, you are a fabulous music mind that has picked really good songs. The production in this is crap. The production in this is not good. The 808, like the 808 beat on like that slow R&B style just doesn't work. Look at like late 2010s, that style, everybody does it, and it just kind of takes out the quality of it. The thing about storytelling that I want to talk about, I guess, and more so, I guess, in the delivery of it, for some reason, he drops like the non-rhotic kind of speech or whatever. He pronounces those hard R's for some reason, and then switches out of it. And like as a casual listen, it's kind of confusing as to why. And I don't think something that confusing should be on this kind of list.
Nerd. Okay, so first of all, the reason he switches out of it is because he's switching the story point by that point. I told you already, the first half of the song is about the story of Cleopatra and her downfall. So when he switches over to the more modern times and the modern sensibilities of how people speak, that's why it sounds like that. Also, you said that this era of David Bowie is not talked about enough. This is the era of David Bowie I hear on the radio all the time. So that's already bunk. And you want to talk about the production? The production on Less Dance isn't that great. It's a little too canned. It's a little too compressed. It doesn't give David Bowie the space to really hit those like big, powerful moments effectively like he does in his early work.
He doesn't. Okay.
Not as well as in his early work. That's what I'm saying.
I don't get the canned sense, considering like how kind of like screamy the sax solo is, the synth horns, even just in the hook itself. And then especially when he gets into that last verse, like there's so much echo and kind of delay put on that voice. But Cody, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this.
I just love that Barr sat there and was like, "Your long song. I'm gonna do a 10-minute song," and just like gay.
I knew it was coming.
If I'm being fully transparent, I did not love either one of these songs to like a degree that I really enjoyed. There was a clear runaway for me between the two, and it was Last Dance by David Bowie. Pyramids is like
finally on the board. Jesus,
like so whiny to me. Like it's just you get like this overall like feel of like he's organizing the pyramids now. And just like I'm like shut up, like see what I don't care. Cleopatra needs to like move on.
It's been thousands of years, Cleopatra. It's time to move on.
Time to get over it. I love that Coho just watched the 4-hour Cleopatra on 2 times speed.
Over 2 days, he said. Over 2 days.
Are you that surprised,
before he drove 8 hours more.
He's gonna look. Let's be honest. He's not gonna watch this. All right, let's move on.
Not at this point. He already clicked off.
All right. So 468 and 467 are Let's Go Crazy by Prince versus That Don't Impress Me Much by Shania Twain.
This is not going to be hard to figure out who picked what. Go ahead.
Brooklyn, you start.
So yeah, we're going to talk about our Lord and Savior of the country world, Miss Shania Twain. If we were to put a title to this song or where to put the song, this is the best song to play when somebody else scores in hockey, or if somebody else gets a home run. It's like, oh, so you're a rocket scientist. That don't impress me much. Just the swagger that she has in it, and like her voice in it as well. The guitar in this is just, I think it's just perfectly it's perfectly country, and that it's not too twangy, but it has that little bit of cleanness to it. I think there's just so many quotable lines to have in this, and it's because of Shania. It's like, oh, you're Brad Pitt. Oh, so you're a rocket scientist, and it's just that fun song to kind of sing along with.
I'd like to point out that Brooklyn started to talk about a song that you would play when the other team scores, whereas when your team scores, they play Let's Go Crazy by Prince. The energy in this song is immediately infectious. It's raucous, it's crazy, but it's got that twinge of gospel and it has this amazing sound to it. Prince is just one of those performers where their impact just hits you in the face like a punching glove. But also just like the way that this song is presented with its like preacher-esque kind of style of just like that opening, it really sets the tone really nicely. And then it's basically that song of, hey, we're all gonna die at some point. So while we have the time to live, let's go fucking crazy. Let's get nuts. That's the kind of energy that I want when my team fucking scores a goal. Whereas with That Don't Impress Me Much, this song don't impress me much.
Oh, how original.
Yep, well, it's right there, Brooklyn. What am I supposed to do?
You can actually critique the song.
The Haim version's actually a lot better. The Haim does a version of this song where it's kind of smoky. And there's like that believe me, it's kind of smoky and it's got more of an attitude to it, where this is kind of like playful, and it's like,
this doesn't have an attitude to it.
It's not as snarky as you make it out to be. It's more playful.
Go to the line of, oh, you think you're something special. Oh, you think you're something else. In terms of Let's Go Crazy, so you have the intro, which I think is an incredible intro. You have the riff, and then it just kind of plateaus. That the first time you hear the chorus is cool, but after that, it's like, we're not going to change anything about the song at all, or try anything new. It just kind of hangs on that riff.
It plateaus? Oh my god, do you not remember the insane, amazing guitar solo that ends this song? Fuck you, it plateaus before then. That is the most asinine thing I've ever heard. Oh my god, Cody, let's just go to you.
I don't think a lot of people, like, I think some people know this, but not a ton. Like, I'm a big country music fan, like, especially like late, like classic country up to like 90s country. Like, I'm a huge fan of that kind of music. So Shania Twain is like right up my alley. I think she's absolutely incredible. I think she's really good. I think most people would look at this matchup and scoff at Shania Twain against Prince, obviously. I'm assuming there's other Prince songs to come. If not, then we're really messed up here. But that don't impress me. I actually, while you were talking, I also pulled up the version of that you were bringing up. Add Smokey to the words that I never want to hear in your bar say to me about describe something. So don't cook for me. But overall, like,
the cooking's not that bad.
Well, hey Cody, I smoked some food. Throw up, gross. But if you ever want to know how this song does for like anybody, watch Post Malone rock out to That Don't Impress Me Much by Shania Twain. He has a blast with it. That's my pick for this one. I think Shania Twain. He said Lord and Savior. Listen, there are some country singers that are higher than Shania Twain. I know that they could live in Canada, but overall, like, she's great. She's great.
As I said,
and I didn't hate the version you said. I do like a song "Slow Down," and that's kind of a slowed down. So I would check out the version he said. I don't know who sings it again. You said
Haim, Haim. The girl from Licorice Pizza. All right.
Oh, the pet. Oh.
Well, okay, I may have heard that. Let's move on to number 466 and 465 being American Pie by Don McLean versus I Will Possess Your Heart by Death Cab for Cutie. Hey, you want to talk about long songs? Here you go. You got 2 of them.
Should we get it out of the way right now? Andrew, your song is Long of the Tooth. My song is Long of the Tooth.
Your song is really long. Okay. So, American Pie. First of all, it is the song that inspired Killing Me Softly with his song. This is the song that the song and Killing Me Softly with his song is. And just like Don McLean's absolute like sincerity throughout this song is just like really, really well done. Considering all of the references that he throws in there, it could come across as incredibly insincere, but it doesn't. Just like the melody, like I immediately recognized the melody anywhere. That chorus is one that like you will get at least 75 to 80% of the room singing that chorus along with you. It is that good of a chorus. You don't really feel the length in this one. It takes you on a good, solid ride. And it's just like an amazing tribute song to some of the music legends that passed away.
I Will Possess Your Heart has the best 4-minute, 34-second intro ever. Just how it builds up the tension. Like that bass line is just a constant throughout it, and the bass and the drum kind of interchange in that the bass is the more so keeping the tempo, and the drum is more so kind of filling in the rest and really kind of grooving out. And then after that great intro where we're just adding in like keys and guitars and whatnot, you have just, I think, one of the best opening lyrics of a song. How I wish you could see the potential of you and me, like a book elegantly bound in a language that you can't read just yet. This has like eerie, creepy vibes similar to every breath you take. But I think it's done in that like emo rock style that Death Cab Cutie was known for. I think the bridge in this is incredible. Like, you reject my advances and desperate please so desperately. I won't let you lay me down so easily. I would highly recommend, if you got to hear this song live. I just think seeing the process of this song being made is one of the things to enjoy about it. Now, I can hear what you're saying right now. Brooklyn, I thought you really liked American Pie.
I thought you did.
I do like American Pie. Here's why it's not on my list, though. One, Bad Bad Leroy Brown is better than it, in terms of it being a piano pop rock song it's very storytelling. Now, an exercise that I want to put you on, Andrew, as well as Cody. Think about how many piano playing pop people we have on this list coming up, and how many songs we have in that vein. At some point, you have to cut the line, because otherwise it's just going to be a lot of the same style of song. And I think this is one that has to get cut off.
I guess we're just cutting off any Billy Joel that comes up then as well. So
Billy Joel ran circles around Don McLean. Thank you very much. The verse in this that I think I'm like,
doesn't matter.
It's a little bit long.
Like a lot of the same styles.
Okay. Anyways, the verse that I'm kind of like, all right, I want to kind of move along with this is Helter Skelter in Summer Swelter. It's kind of Bob Dylan-esque in that it's rhyming for the sake of rhyming.
Yeah, because he's referencing Bob Dylan in the song. Bob Dylan is the jester who stole the thorny crown. That's who he's referencing. So you made my point for me. Also, like, first of all, this song and Bad Bad Leroy Brown are different. Bad Bad Leroy Brown is like folk, and this is rock. This
absolutely is folk.
Piano driven. This is guitar. Like a good amount of this is guitar. Like towards the middle. The beginning and the end, yes, piano, but like guitar is definitely there in the middle. So I think that's kind of a weird take for you to try to put down the song that you obviously think is better than yours. Cody?
Hi.
Love you, Brooklyn.
Hi. So a few things. I did check to make sure what you put on here was the full version of American Pie, just to make sure it was correct. I'm gonna be honest with you. I Will Possess Your Heart, when it played, it got to like the 4-minute mark, and I said, "Does this fucking have lyrics? Did they just give me this like thing?" I don't think the instrumental like leading into it is that powerful to like warrant 4 minutes. Personally, American Pie is a top 30 song for me. I absolutely love this song. It puts a smile on my face every time like I listen to it. If it ain't 8 minutes, I don't want it. Personally,
Yep.
the hardest thing I had tonight is if 2 out of 3 ain't bad and American Pie were put against each other, just cut me in half because I don't know which one I would have because I listened to like all the music you gave me, but I always kept coming back to American Pie and 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's just what I kept listening to because I love those songs so much. Like and I agree, like what Brooklyn was saying, he's not wrong. Like there are people that are coming up. He raised a point to me. He's like, I'll raise to you how many more musical piano players do we have coming up? I have no idea. I get 20 at a time before we record. I don't know what's coming. I just have to go off what you give me. And American Pie deserves it over that song.
Okay.
Should be way higher on this list, but that's enough. Whatever.
Fair enough. It was pretty high on my list. It was in the 100 to 200 range. Okay.
That's fair.
Actually, no. It was in the 200 to 300 range. So I may just never mind.
He just like those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
moving
okay.
on. Moving on before I dig my hole any deeper.
That's fair.
The Book of Love by Peter Gabriel versus Killing Me Softly with His Song by the Fugees.
Book of Love was already featured in Don McLean's American Pie. He references the Book of Love. Oh, just kidding.
Yes, did you write the Book of Love? You know what, Cody? Great segue. Nice segue. Brooklyn, I believe you start us off with this one.
Yeah. So this is an elevated version of the original. It's just a really cool use of like the 808 beat, especially like in the verse where it's just her and you really get to hear her voice shine. The little kind of twang in the guitar in between kind of sticks with that Fugees style. Obviously Wyclef Jean with like one of the best like improvisations or whatever, and it's literally just 1 time, 2 time. Like the chorus in this is painful, but it's sing-alongy, and it's just one that everybody can kind of go back to. I think Lauryn Hill is just having a fun time with this, and they're really just having like a. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, I don't have much else to say because I think it's just a pretty cool song. But let's hear about Peter Gabriel.
The Book of Love is one of the most romantic songs ever written. The Magnetic Fields, who wrote this song originally, did a fantastic job. But Peter Gabriel took this song and he completely elevated it. First of all, Peter Gabriel's voice on this song, it's so warm and soothing, and it just sounds so deeply in love. I love the choice to not have any percussion in this song. Let it all be strings and brass. I thought that was such an amazing choice to build the intimacy that this song has. It's a deeply heartfelt romantic song that ends on a incredibly beautiful line and delivery. Whereas with Killing Me Softly with His Song is not even the best version of Killing Me Softly with His Song. The Roberta Flack version is better. Also, the whole it could have just been Lauryn Hill, but when you add the whole 1 time, 2 times thing, like it completely rips me out of the song because there's no real point to those lines, and they just distract you.
Okay, my thing with the Book of Love is that the thing that elevates it, or thing that adds to it, is the symphony. I think Peter Gabriel is just kind of just there doing a cover. I don't know if I agree or disagree with the whole percussion thing. Also, in terms of Peter Gabriel's soft love songs, you and I both know that there is a song better than this. So
I know, and it's coming up, but this song also reaches a very similar level of intimacy.
I just don't understand why having 2 Peter Gabriel ballads that are kind of in the same vein production wise. Obviously there's percussion in the other one, but I think this one is just like, I don't see it like obviously he sounds like Peter Gabriel, but there isn't anything about this like, oh, because Peter Gabriel did the song, it's that quality that needs to be on this list. Like the symphony is cool, but it doesn't make it anything different.
Well, you talk about the production. When Peter Gabriel has some of the greatest production in his entire discography, that's better than the production that some people have their entire career. They're all going to have incredible production. And the thing that separates the two is the instrumentation. They're completely different stylings of instrumentation. But let's go to Cody to get what his thoughts are.
So you ever hear about an artist, you hear his name all the time, but you know who the fuck he really is? Peter Gabriel's that for me. I've heard Peter Gabriel all my life, but I couldn't pinpoint one song of Peter Gabriel's, like, at all. And then I did a deep dive on him this week. I didn't know that he was also the person that sang Big Time, WrestleMania 22's theme song, when I was 15.
Way I'm making it
Big time.
Game changer. Okay, this is not the song. I don't like Book of Love that much. I didn't think it was great. Killing Me Softly with his song mint. When this song came up, I played it at work. Like I played the start of it at work, and everybody's like, "Oh!" I said the name, and like I have no idea what you're talking about. And I played it, like, "Oh!" And I was like, "Yeah!" And then we listened to it. It was a great song. Great song.
I can't argue. It is a very great song. Yes.
A song to check out. I think Harry Styles' cover of Sledgehammer is a really good cover.
It's a good cover.
I just listened to this week. I was like, Sledgehammer. I was like, you had too much fun, Peter Gabriel. Oh, and by the way, everybody that's watching, I bet there's other people that can tell you about the progression and what notes and how beautiful things sound and what the vocals did and what key they sang in. I ain't that guest. I like what I like. If you want like actual like knowledge, message somebody else, not me.
Well, Cody, it's a good thing that next week we have a special guest replacing you since you're away on vacation. No. Not really, but let's move on to the final song of this episode. Another one, Bites the Dust by Queen versus Everlong by Foo Fighters. It's the most iconic bass line of all time. It's just do 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 do, and it's you only use one string and it's 3 notes. Amazing. Also, just like the intensity, that rip-roaring intensity behind Freddie Mercury's vocals in this, behind these lyrics, it's just so good. It creates a scene and a mood and atmosphere that is just incredible. And that's not to take away from the rest of the band, because the rest of the band sounds fantastic on this as well. The instrumentation is amazing. Brooklyn, tell us about Everlong by Foo Fighters.
Everlong is an incredibly influential song for anybody learning to play guitar, and specifically alternate tunings on a guitar. This song was created much like many other Dave Grohl songs by him just kind of fucking around on a guitar and just kind of figuring out a riff. And he found this riff, and it's held. It's become the most iconic song of Foo Fighters history. And then you get to break down the song and kind of hear what the song is about. And it's this devolving of a relationship, him splitting up with his first wife. The lyrics in this that grab to me are like, slow down and waste away with me, come down. And I think it accurately describes a relationship like that, and just how it's like, well, if you're coming down, you're coming down with me. And then you get into the chorus, and he's just belting out like, and I wonder if everything could ever feel this real forever. I think it's the good qualities of Foo Fighters. In the song, like the great drum work in this at times, like I said as well, the guitar work in this, and it's very, very simplistic. Another one, Bites the Dust, is a fucking overrated song. in terms of Queen standards. Brian May is doing a good Nile Rodgers impression, but if we're talking about great Queen songs, we need everybody involved. Brian May doesn't have that virtuoso kind of sense that he has in other songs. The bass line in this is cool, but I think its most interesting parts are the kind of like the pre-chorus parts where it actually uses more than one string. Freddie Mercury in this is cool. But yeah, my whole argument on the song is that it doesn't let all of the Queen members shine. Freddie and a little bit of John Deacon.
Sometimes it's all you need in order to make a great song, because sometimes if you add literally the entire kitchen sink, it becomes too much. And that's what Queen knew doing this song. Honestly, I've got nothing more to say. Let's just send it over to Cody.
You have nothing bad to say about Everlong.
Everlong is really good. Really good. Also, Rock Band 2, I believe Everlong was on. Don't quote me on that. I have a blast with. I'm not a big Foo Fighters. Like, I don't know a ton about Foo Fighters. Like, I don't seek them out. I don't listen to them. But this song is like, as soon as it plays, like I knew exactly what it was. I know good and well, either through my veto or through your guys' brains, hopefully, there will be more Queen on this list. In terms of songs, I'm 100% with Brooklyn on this. I think in the terms of Queen, I don't think it cracks like my top like 15. It's like, don't get me wrong, when you hear the dum, 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 like your shoulders go and like you feel it, and I would never turn it off. But for Queen, far better from Queen.
Oh wow! So you're putting
Everlong.
Pick Everlong. Okay. Well, that ties this episode as well. Brooklyn and I are still tied.
Just to be transparent with everybody, I'm not keeping track of who I voted for and who I haven't. I don't like that system. I thought Brooklyn was going to be way down after this episode. So,
wow. Okay. So,
at least I'm keeping it spicy, I
guess. By the way, I should have done this at the beginning of the episode. I forgot. Buy their shit.
Yeah, buy their shit.
Okay, so with that, 480 through 461 for this episode is Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell, Baby I Need Your Lovin' by the Four Tops, Fuji La by the Fugees, Ain't Nobody by Rufus and Shaka Khan.
Ain't nobody.
Love Me Better. Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar. 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad by Meatloaf. Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine by James Brown. You Know I'm No Good by Amy Winehouse. Super Freak by Rick James. Chain of Fools by Aretha Franklin. Pyramids by Frank Ocean. It's there. Let's Dance by David Bowie at 469. Nice. 468, Let's Go Crazy by Prince. That Don't Impress Me Much by Shania Twain. I Will Possess Your Heart by Death Cab for Cutie. American Pie by Don McLean. The Book of Love by Peter Gabriel. Killing Me Softly with His Song by the Fugees. Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. And Everlong by Foo Fighters. Cody, we've sent you the playlist for episode 3.
Yeah.
If you could describe it, your thoughts in either a word, a sentence, a phrase, a sound, what would it be?
So my job is to get people to listen to the next episode, correct?
Sure.
Yeah. A cliffhanger, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something.
Okay, that's all we need to know. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm Andrew Barr. That's Cody Newberry. That's Brooklyn Vale. And from all of us at 500 Stones and the video store, keep on rocking.
Drive safely.